Welcome back. We are here with our special guest, Samantha Mull.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. All right, so we have a few questions for you today. Real simple, real easy.
Okay.
So obviously you are a huge celebrity on UNH campus right now. And I don't know if a lot of people know how involved you are, so do you want to tell us what you are in? And
Yeah, sure. So right now I serve as the executive assistant of USGA. So working on elections committee, taking meeting minutes, corresponding with RSOs, stuff like that. I'm also a sister of Delta Phi Epsilon, and I serve as the treasurer for that organization as well. I'm a general member of Pride, Gamma Sigma Alpha Honor Society, and until I really considered running for USGA president, I was on our cross-country and track and field teams.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
so did you stop track and field because of the presidency, or was there something else?
Yeah, all athletics here are a huge commitment, and I really respect everyone whose top priority is their athletics. But I really started to fall in love with USGA and all that it really offered to everyone on campus, not just athletes. So I decided to commit my time more to USGA and the idea of running for president.
That's great. I like that. Very lengthy resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of students just know that USGA is like the meetings that happens on Friday nights and like where they talk about events happening. But what does USGA mean to you personally?
USGA to me is a place where everyone not only comes together to say what's going on campus, but to make decisions for the student body. And I think that's a really important privilege to have for a lot of organizations and a lot of different students on our campus. We have a lot of people come that don't need to be there, but they're there to be part of the discussion about different needs that our students have all across campus. Every single student is part of USGA, whether they realize it or not. So having the opportunity to make those voices heard and all the concerns addressed in that meeting every week, even though it can get long sometimes, is really important to me. So I think USGA to me is really just understanding, all that our students, our RSOs, and our campus have to offer.
Now, I just had a follow-up question. Like, you're talking about the events that you guys help put on and everything. Can you talk about some?
Sure. So USGA, we're more of a governing body. We're not big on the programming and all of that, but we do allot all of the RSOs, about 137 right now. We allot all of them $1.6 million each year to spend just on programming alone. So Scope, as you know, puts on a ton of programming almost every day.
Yeah.
Black Student Union has Black History Month, an event every day. Every single organization really has a lot of incredible events always going on. You can find them in the meeting minutes on Charger Connection all the time, but it's really just a place where all different kinds of organizations are putting on events that benefit the whole student body and relate to their own ideals as a club. So there's, I think, too many events to even really count.
No, definitely. You talk about like Scope and everything, and we talked about in our monologue about the spring weekend concert, and there was like some backlash with like, the performer and everything. Did you want to like talk about that? And there's like some miscommunication. It's not like Scope has $1 million to get like Beyonce and all that other stuff. But if you want to address that and some concerns about spring weekend and just the performer, like I'm sure it's going to be tons of fun, obviously. But just like what do you have to say about that?
Sure, of course. So I think we all realize that the whole $1.6 million doesn't go to Scope. So as much as I'd love to see Beyonce before I leave, I'm not so sure that's in the works just yet. I didn't even know the artist, the e-board, the USGA e-board doesn't know, only the Scope e-board knows. So it was just as much a surprise to me, and I know there was some negative feedback about the artist, but we have about a certain budget to work with, and they found really the best that they could. There are a lot of different options and a lot to consider when you pick the artist, but I think spring weekend is such a fun and exciting time for really everybody that just having big names in general and, with the past artists that we have had here are really impressive. So it's not always everyone's taste. You're never going to like every kind of music, but hopefully just kind of make the most of everything, even if you don't like it. I'm not super, super excited. It's not my favorite artist in the whole world, but I'm still going to go and have fun with my friends. And I think that's really the whole point of the process of the concert anyway. And, all that it has to offer. So
Definitely.
there have definitely been a few people really excited, a few people kind of disappointed, but it's a large enough campus that you can't always meet every need, and they try to switch it up every year with different artists so that while you're here through your 4 years, you're bound to get someone that you like.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
So, one last question. Obviously, not everyone is involved in USGA as you would like. What is one thing that you would want to say to everyone about you being president and you taking on such a leadership role in this?
I think to every student here, it's important to know that your concerns can be heard. My office is always open for a reason, and I think it's so that every student who isn't necessarily involved in a club or doesn't go to a ton of events can still have the opportunity to say what they need to say. A lot of times, USGA president is just considered to be the monitor of all the clubs, and while that is a large part of my role, I think my focus as president is going to try to shift away from that a little bit and really focus more on the students and making sure that they can get involved if they choose to, because I know my freshman year was really hard to figure out really all that we had to offer. It's kind of overwhelming when you step on campus, so I think just reaching out to individuals on our campus who seem like they need it and focusing on any student issues. It's kind of what I'm here for, even if people don't realize it, so just making sure people know that.
That's great. Now she is president, and we forgot the cake. We left the cake in the.
I love cake.
I know. We forgot. We totally forgot about that. Next time.
Okay, totally.
But we want to know what your first order of business will be as president.
Okay. Well, I'm currently in the process of picking an e-board right now, so sort of a team to work with and come up with different solutions to campus problems. But most importantly, I want to work on the re-recognition process, which as an organization, you guys might know that it's not always easy to be re-recognized as a club, and while I really see the advantages of OSA putting on such a process, I think it is a little difficult for clubs to maneuver coming right back in September and having to attend all these events. So working with OSA over the summer and at SOAR and really acclimating people to starting off next year pretty strong.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you
and
so
sharing
much for
all of
having
this
me.
with
Thank you.
us.
Now, where can people find you if they have any questions?
Of course. So right in Bartels, where you eat dinner every day, if you can stand it.
Yeah.
Just go up the stairs to the Office of Student Activities, and I'm right there pretty much all the time. So you'll find me.
Perfect.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.